So when speaking to Christians and theists about morality, I've been getting a lot of the point that they take a lot of time to make. And the point is that as a Christian or a theist, that you have moral grounding. Okay? So this word keeps coming up over and over. You know, my morality is grounded, and your morality as an atheist is not grounded. Now, after looking at this and trying to consider what exactly this means, right, what I can understand is that what they're attempting to say is that their morality is based on God. That's what I get out of it. All right. And Christians rally around this because they say to themselves, oh, well, now the debate is over because the God who is unquestionable is the grounding. So Christians love to hear this. You know, our morality is grounded. Okay. But when you go deeper, which is always the Achilles heel of the Christian and the theist arguments, is that when you go deeper, it all breaks down. It all becomes BS, just nonsensical. You see, grounding your morality in a God is just the same as grounding your morality in anything else. You see, if God is perfect, and if his morality is perfect, which of course is not really the case anyway, if you use scripture as a barometer of morality, but even given that there is this perfect morality, it breaks down because that perfect morality has to be interpreted by a subjective mind of a human being. So ultimately, it is the human being who is determining his own morality, which is the same for an atheist. It's the same for anyone. Any human being is determining and interpreting a morality for themselves. And by talking about this grounding, it seems to have an impact on some people, where they look at it, oh, grounding, all right? Well, to be clear, let me explain where my personal morality is grounded, okay? Now, a Christian or atheist isn't going to like my grounding, all right? But it is still a grounding, all right? My morality is grounded with what is harmful or beneficial to human beings and myself. And I also would add consensual amongst adults, all right? And that's what my morality is grounded on. That, and also there's the factor of social laws and laws of the land in which I live, which of course I'm obligated to follow, or I can be put in a jail for not following those laws. But it's real simple. My grounding is what is harmful, is bad, what is beneficial to human beings is good. That's it. That's my grounding. Okay. Now, the Christian comes back and they like to say, well, that grounding isn't good. you got to be grounded in the Bible. But the Bible does nothing to ground anything. All right. Because if the God was perfect, and if the God even put out a perfect book, which he didn't, okay, but even if he did, all right, the morality is based on his subjective declarations. He is determining what is moral for you. So ultimately, it's still subjective. And then on top of that, as a Christian or a theist, you're supposed to determine now, subjectively, what you think that God meant when he made these declarations. Right? And when we go through declarations like guidance on how to treat your slaves, right? And when we go through guidance on who can become slaves, when God says it is okay to take slaves from other countries and to own them as property, of course, we are left with a grounding that becomes rather meaningless. Okay? So these arguments about grounding morality, ultimately, they're a lot of nonsense. Okay? We can ground our morality on a variety of different things and concepts. And yes, as a Christian, you can ground your morality if it makes you feel good on God. But it's your interpretation of God. I don't think you're grounding your morality as a Christian on the basis of Allah. I don't think that's what you're grounding your morality on. You're choosing what to ground your morality on. Just like I am choosing what to ground my morality on. And my morality, which has nothing to do with a God whatsoever, is just as valid as yours. In fact, I would say it's better, because my grounding on what does harm and versus what benefits humanity is a more rational way to ground my morality. So, just some thoughts of the day. Think about it. What does a Christian mean when they say, I'm grounding my morality? My morality is grounded, and yours is not. I mean, come on. Other than a lot of philosophizing, which is a word I use a lot lately, because it just means, not proving anything, but talking in a nice word salad that some people respect as intellectual, all right? But when you go deeper, the argument of this grounding of morality, it breaks down just like any one of these nonsensical theist arguments. They all break down when you go deeper. So use your brain. Think a little bit about these things. Don't just accept a cliche, the grounding cliche. It's all BS.